This is a very English setting for a very Japanese doll. And here she stands in her kimono, looking, I have to say, slightly overdressed for today's conditions, this hot sunshine. And in my hand, I've got a card, a business card, which says, Mr. Takayuki Eguchi from Nagoya, Japan. Any connection? I'd like to hope there is.
That was my father. He wasn't 17 years old because that was the age when he left Japan to finish his education in Great Britain.
And give me a date for that.
But he arrived in 1914, just before the Great War, when, of course, Japan and Britain were allies.
And had very close ties. So your father came to England.
Yes.
Did he bring the doll with him?
No.
Ah, there's more to this, is there?
Well, there's my father, and he fell in love with this English lady, my mother.
Yes.
And this is my grandfather, Komaichi, who was outraged that his eldest son was going to make a marriage in England.
Oh, so this wasn't the plan. The plan was for him to get his education, go home and marry some...
Well, there was a marriage already arranged. So it was loss of face for grandfather.
Of course.
It was an outrage. He said, come home or I will cut off your allowance. So my very stubborn father said, I'll get a job. And he was very distressed because he loved his father. His father had always been most loving. And they had their first daughter, Alma, but she died when she was 9 of meningitis. So it was a terrible tragedy.
Yes.
And Komaichi was so shocked to lose a child that he relented, forgave his son, and invited the whole family to Japan. So that is what this is about. It's about the reconciliation of my father and my mother meeting for the first time the Japanese family.
Then the doll you got in Japan, or
grandfather, very generously, he loved my mother, he loved his grandchildren, and he commissioned this doll to be made by the master doll maker in Kyoto. He commissioned the most beautiful doll for my brother, which was a samurai on a horse, which was, I always preferred to this rather prissy doll.
Yes, I would have been in your camp, actually.
I love that.
But she is just gorgeous.
He also commissioned kimonos for my mother and myself to be made too. So we came back embarrassingly loaded with many, many, many boxes of gifts.
How wonderful. And can I picture you in a kimono like this? Was it similar?
Oh yes, it was very similar. Very similar with the darker colour outside and then this radiant sort of colour showing through.
Amazing,
My
isn't it?
petticoat was the same golden orange colour.
Fantastic. These dolls are actually known as Ichimatsus, play dolls, and they were very popular throughout the whole of the Meiji period, which was 1868 through to 1912. The head is made out of papier-mâché, but which has then been covered with a kind of gesso, which has taken an extraordinary sort of, it almost has a feel of and finish of porcelain. It's an incredible finish on the surface of the face there. The hands, also papier-mâché and similarly finished. And of course this glorious costume made as the full-size costume would have been. She really is the symbol of the family reunited, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
Well, she ought to be priceless, but everything has a price. And I would say that her value to a collector would be something around £1,000, which, in the light of what it represents to your family, seems like a snip.